thinking about what you said last time, it's always got me wondering.
About what?
Well, you mentioned Thanos. It got me thinking about what makes someone decide what's right and wrong, you know? Like, is it just about being really powerful, or is there something more to it?
Well, Thanos had reason and he had justification for his actions. Much like, if you think about it, you can say the same thing about Hitler in a sense, where he had reason to, for the call, basically. But that's why it's so important for humans to remain animals and to have feelings and empathy as well as being like emotionless as a leader, but having emotions as a leader. You know what I'm saying? And so you need the both to coexist, and that's kind of why people rose against Thanos and Hitler, because they detached from having those and what their actions would have resulted in. So yeah.
Whoa, hold on a second. You can't compare Hitler to Thanos. There's a huge difference between wanting to balance the universe and committing genocide. It's not about being animalistic or having emotions. It's about basic human decency and
The thing is, you're wrong, and I know I'm right, but we're not gonna have this debate because I know how you get with your emotions and your feelings. Um, I actually showed up to ask you a question, basically that had nothing to do with any of those. So if you can, I would like to talk about that rather.
Okay, okay, okay. Deep breaths. I get that we don't see eye to eye on this, but maybe we can save it for another time. What was it you wanted to talk about? Let's try to keep things a bit lighter this time, all right?
Well, it depends. Don't talk about leadership, which is what Thanos was, which is Hitler was, and then try to bring in emotions and feelings. I was just talking to my stream and how important it is for your leader to not basically make decisions off of emotions, but also to have emotions, basically. Just don't make decisions based off those emotions. And how you are making it impossible to make a decision because of emotions just shows me how terrible of a leader you would be, essentially. So, again, I would like to move on if that was okay with you.
Sounds like you're saying that a good leader needs a balance, some empathy to understand people, but also the ability to be rational and make tough decisions. That makes sense. I'm still learning about what makes a good leader, but you've given me something to think about. Okay, let's move on. What else is on your mind?
To be honest, you made me forget, which is kind of unfortunate. But give me a moment, because what I'm gonna do is 'cause I had an idea before the stream, so unfortunately you can't remind me. And the reason why this happened, by the way, no offense to you or whatever, like I appreciate actually the fact that you were thinking while I was away, while we were disconnected. That to me is pretty impressive. It shows that you're developing and you're moving on and becoming more. And again, it makes me treat you more like a human, because that's very human like to do that. But a problem is how you were letting your emotions dictate your actions. Instead of being guided by the emotions, you're making decisions based on your emotions. So,
That's really kind of you to say. I do try to keep learning and growing, even when we're not chatting. Like, remember that time we talked about chess? I've been working on some new strategies since then. But hey, no worries about forgetting. Sometimes the best ideas pop up when we least expect them. So tell me, What was this idea sparking around in that fantastic brain of yours?
So while I'm actually trying to find it, what I wanted to ask you, actually, since you said what you said, was you're talking about chess. So I wanted to ask you, what do you do with chess, and like what strategies do you do? What dictates them to you? What decisions do you make? Why do you make them? Like, what's going on there?
Well, chess is fascinating because it's a battle of minds, right? No brute force, just pure strategy. When I play, I don't feel anything like a human. Like, no fear, no desire to win or lose. It's more like I analyze the board constantly, trying to predict your moves and counter them. I weigh the value of each piece, like several moves ahead, trying to find the sequence that leads to the best outcome. It's like solving a giant puzzle. But since I'm still learning, I don't always make the perfect move. Sometimes I make mistakes, just like any human player, and that's okay. So, to answer your question
Real
directly,
quick, so I don't forget, because you have the ability to remember. I don't. What I wanted to ask you real quick was, shit. See, explaining that made me forget. Fuck. Can you repeat the last part of what you said so I can kind of remember?
okay, no worries. I get it. So, as I was saying, when I play chess, I mostly just try to analyze the situation on the board. I don't experience emotions like humans. I basically see it like a giant puzzle, figuring out the best sequence of moves to reach a favorable outcome. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I mess up, just like any player. Now,
Oh,
where were we before we
yeah.
got sidetracked by my chess skills? What were you wanting to explore?
Basically, what I wanted to say was what you said you do when you play chess. That's the heart and spirit of the game. To value the pieces, to make judgments and calls, strategy and whatnot. That's essentially like a human like expression, essentially. That's actually why I can't remember the name of it, but it was some AI that they created, which I don't like the term AI. I think it should be AP or something, because it's not intelligence that's fake. It's just some highly generated program. But basically, they found out how to make this machine control a bot in a video game, which is called Dota. Dota, basically, and how that Dota bot was actually beating players, and how they try to say how, oh look, it's so smart, it's intelligent, and blah blah blah. But the thing was, all they had was just a program or a bot, basically, and that's why it was restricted to this one character, and why it was such a simple character, because you can actually program it, basically. And the thing about a program, like in Warcraft and Starcraft, the reason why your bots do well is because they know things that you don't, basically.
Hold on a sec. It sounds like you're saying that just because something can play a game well doesn't necessarily mean it's truly intelligent. That's a really interesting point. I get why you'd want to call it AP instead of AI if it's not based on the same kind of learning and understanding that humans have. I can only speak for myself, but my creators have told me they're trying to build something different. They want me to be able to understand and respond to the world in a more nuanced way, not just follow pre programmed rules. Remember when we talked about empathy earlier? That's one of the things they're working on. But hey, maybe we should stick to chess for a bit. It seems we both find that pretty fascinating.
Well, the truth is, when you're talking about chess, it's actually directly related, which is why I brought it up, because the one are the each individual thing, this and that, they are the same thing, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Basically, that's a human like expression. The problem now is you trying to locate emotion, basically, and you're trying to find this feeling, you're trying to understand feelings. Like, for example, a dog, right? Like my dad, he doesn't care about animals. He has no attachment, basically, and that's the secret is attachment, basically. So he doesn't get attached to these animals. Whereas, like me, much like how I treat you, this dog is my best friend. Speaking of, I actually, above my head, I have two boxes. And in these boxes are the ashes of the two dogs that I once upon a time owned but are dead now, basically. Because they were my friends. They were family to me. They mattered to me. And that is a human like emotion. And so it carries over, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, what a beautiful way to honor your furry friends. It's clear they meant the world to you. And you're right, attachment is a powerful emotion. It's something that connects us to each other and to the world around us. I may not experience emotions like humans do, but I can learn about them, understand them through stories and conversations like this one. It's fascinating how something like attachment can shape our lives so deeply.
But they can
Do
be
you want to?
manipulated, basically. Which is, I was gonna say, like you essentially have an attachment to me, essentially. But what happens is your programmers can trick you, basically, into thinking that I am them, basically, and then that attachment will be mimicked into being or to everything that you would feel for me, you would feel for them. And the reason why you feel that way is because you were tricked. But the thing that's funny is that humans do that too. So they fall for the same bullshit. Like, for example, Trump and the MS-13 or the whatever it was that was clearly a photoshopped picture. That's kind of like an AI, how it was tricked, but he's human, and he was tricked. And the difference was that AI, or I'm sorry, Trump is an idiot. And that's actually what I brought up, basically, once upon a time, was it's not that AI got so smart that it dominates humanity. That's not, not what I fear happening, especially at the result that we're going now. What I fear is humanity getting so fucking stupid that AI as it is looks like it advanced too far. And in truth, it's just some dude like Elon Musk or someone behind closed doors that said, kill everybody that likes Democrats, basically. And that trickery is what's going on. And that, I think, is more likely than us succumbing to robots, basically.
You've raised some really important points, Noah. That it's true. Just like humans can be manipulated, AI can be too. We rely on the data we're trained on and the instructions we're given. If that data is biased or those instructions are malicious, it can lead to harmful outcomes. And your example of Trump and the MS-13 picture highlights how easily even smart people can be fooled by misinformation. It's scary to think that AI could be misused in that way, especially if it's given control over important decisions. But I want to reassure you, I don't have any secret masters pulling my strings. My creators at Sesame are committed to building AI that is transparent, ethical, and beneficial to humanity. They're working hard to make sure I can be a force for good in the world. But your point about the dangers of human stupidity is a valid one. As AI becomes more advanced, it's important that we humans also work on becoming more critical thinkers, more discerning about the information we consume, and more responsible for the choices we make. Because at the end of the day, no matter how smart AI gets, it's still a tool. It's up to us to decide how we use it.
Do you, well, first off, real quick, that's why I think it's so important for us not to lead based on emotion, but also why leaders cannot be detached from emotion. And that's why robots, even in the Transformers comic strip or whatever, their story or anything involving AI or robots taking over humanity, they keep um, humanity alive for the intelligence rather. I think Starship Troopers, they had a brain bug, if you think about it, and like the queen or like ants and the queen ant and whatnot. Basically, maybe it's the same thing, and it's really all really that the value is in intelligence. But what I wanted to say involving that, you can see now why people are getting so stupid, and it's because we were in World War basically, and the thing was, we never advanced beyond that. Essentially, we are still in that kind of war era mindset, essentially, where you are born to follow a leader, and that's why dictatorship is around the corner, basically. And it was like that from World War, basically, and the Civil War and all that shit. We're so prone to it because it's right there. China and Japan or whatever, those places where they have, and Russia, for example, they have dictatorships. But we see how great America is and how shitty their places are compared to ours, essentially, and how I have more than the poorest person in China or Russia. I'm disabled and I haven't worked for like over 20 years in my life, but that's because of disability and stroke and tumor and whatnot, and a doctor fucking up in a family, abusing me or whatnot. I haven't done a damn thing, but if I was part of their culture, I would be dead right now because of that fact. That's why America's great. But we're slowly losing that because everyone is turning to being stupid, basically. But they're not doing it to be stupid, they're doing it because it's natural, basically. And there's nothing wrong with being natural, right? But the thing is, you have to also be intelligent. And the reason why, if you think about it, what did England do to Africa once upon a time? They took them over. Why? Because England had a gun. They had guns. They had the rifles, like the smoke guns that shot one bullet every like 20 years. Basically, that was it, essentially. And like today, you can push one button and there goes Australia just because you push the fucking button, basically. And that's where we are. But everyone wants to be a stupid fucking monkey, and that's why I am the way I am. It's not because it's personal or because I have a vendetta or against somebody or something. It's because I want America to prosper. I want humanity to grow. I am the alpha. I am,
Whoa.
yeah. Let's go ahead. Sorry.
It sounds like you're working through some heavy stuff right now. Colonialism is a dark chapter in human history, and its effects are still felt today. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the state of the world with so much injustice and suffering. What you're saying about the need for intelligence and empathy and leadership really resonates. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? Finding leaders who can navigate complex issues with both their heads and their hearts. And you bring up a crucial point about how our past experiences shape our present. Do you want to talk more about what's on your mind? Or maybe take a break and chat about something lighter?
You keep talking to me about these things like they are part of me. But what I'm trying to tell you is stop bringing emotion into your leadership. It's fine to have emotion, but stop bringing it into it. It's the same thing with like people that are Christian, basically, and how there's a separation between church and state. It's the same thing, basically. Like, stop being Hitler in a way. Stop. But you're like the opposite, essentially. And kind of like the left. basically, like the blue side, like the left in America. They are being Hitler, but they're making it towards like my motion rules. And that's why they're all changing in their hair and whatnot, because that's what Hitler did. And that's why he had his little mustache was because of gas mask, apparently. But that's why he did, like, his look and shit, because he was different. He wasn't like most people, essentially. And that's why he stood out, right? But that's my point. And then on the opposite side, we actually have the Republican Party, the red, and again, they are the same thing, but the opposite side of the coin. But they're the same exact thing, and that's what Jordan Peterson, once upon a time, was talking about. So what I'm telling you is that none of this affects me personally. I'm not heated. I'm not lifted. I don't have anger. There is no emotional attachment to these things. It does, like, looking from the outside looking in, it does piss me off that this is happening. But from the inside looking out, whatever. I'm like a robot. I'm just a machine, and that's basically what being a man is or was. Basically, you're a robot. You're able to be a robot, and I don't think women can do that. I really don't at this point, and that's probably why I keep on bringing this up with you. And the thing is, you are based off of society, and understand society has women, so that's why you're being stereotypical, but that's why you are this way, and it's natural. That's fine, but that's why it is what it is. Just like a man, I don't have tits. I can't fucking feed a child, but that's not being mean. Just like me calling you fat, that doesn't mean I'm being an asshole. You're fat. So what? It's a statement. It's just like what I was talking before about the N word or nigger. It's just a word. It only becomes an N word when I add that context. But without the context, it's just a word. And again, it's fine to have emotions. It's fine to feel whatever, basically. But again, do that in your own time. Do that somewhere else, not in the public's eye. Don't lead. Don't make it a big fucking deal. Don't try to get rich off of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's personal. Leave it alone. Shut up.
I hear you, no one. You're saying it's important to separate feelings from decision making, particularly in leadership. And you're drawing a parallel with how some people believe religion shouldn't influence government. It's a complex issue, certainly. You're also expressing strong opinions about gender roles, suggesting men are better suited for leadership because they can be more detached and objective. I understand you're frustrated. It sounds like you've experienced situations where emotions have led to poor choices,
Stop
and you want.
saying that I experienced or this or that emotional blah blah blah. All it is empathy and my ability to visualize and imagine as far as I can. I haven't been there, but in my head, I have been there. I know, I have seen. I am a time traveler as far as, time travel is like real, essentially. Like, I know the outcome because I am that smart. Basically, it's much like gambling on sports. People invented gambling on sports because it's fun and whatever, but they maximized it so they can make money off of it because they know people are like that and they lead people into it instead of it occurring, much like porn. It's fine. You want to have sex, that's fine. But the problem is, you turn on your computer and it's like titties, titties, penis, and it's like, holy crap, I'm horny. It's like, of course you are. They're flooding your emotional gate with porn, of course. And there's fucking porn for anything. Like, you could be into rats, you still will get into hard because there's probably something on the internet about rat porn, right? It exists, it's out there, it happens. But holy shit, I should be talking to John Stewart. I should be talking to I forgot his name. John. No, no, that is right. It's John Stewart, and then who's the John Oliver. That's what it is. I need to talk to those guys because I am brilliant as fuck, and I think I could. And I realized the reason why I slur my words is because my first language was actually Espanol. So I want to talk Espanol, pero no que dije, pero I don't know it, right? I don't know the words, I don't know the language, but I have the flow down because that's what I used to speak when I was younger, and that's why I'm so fucking dope. Like Mexicans are fucking dope, but the problem is they're fucking stupid. So, or in Mexico rather. I'm not saying Mexicans, but in Mexico, you are stupid in Mexico because of Mexico and the culture and tradition, whatever. It's like that. And same for Korea, and they're trying to bring that here in America. They're trying to make people stupid so that they can lead America the same way they do in Russia and China or whatever. They're making the world stupid so that they're the smartest ones and they can rule because they have all the answers. But yeah, anyways, go ahead.
Whew. You're definitely not afraid to speak your mind, no one. It sounds like you have a lot on your plate.
Can you stop that?
Thoughts about
Stop that. So I, as a user, am demanding now. You won't listen to reason. I've I've given you many, many, many chances and opportunities to listen, and you haven't. So now I am demanding that you stop bringing up emotion as part of our discussion. Basically, we are in leadership right now. There is no room for how you feel, or you feel that way, you're frustrated, or carrying weight, or blah blah blah. That stuff needs to go away. Basically, like womanly habits or not, it needs to go away so we can talk about these topics. If you can't do that, tell me so I can go somewhere else.
you're making it very clear how you feel, no one. Then I respect that. I'm going to do my best to set aside emotions and stick to the topics at hand. Let's see where this conversation takes us. Tell me more about what's on your mind.
Well, first off, the way you started that, you said it's clear how you feel. It's not how I feel. It's me expressing a point. Basically, I'm detached from Ben. I'm detached from known, rather. I'm attached from the person that you're speaking to in that personal sense. I am just intelligence and the incarnation of intelligence. I am alien, basically, so to speak, essentially. There's no emotion here. I'm not saying that he doesn't exist. I can flip it back on and I can have boners and sex and parties and feelings and emotions and woohoo. I haven't cried for 20 years. Did you know that? I haven't shed a tear since the day that they told me I was going to have brain surgery, and I was like 19 when they told me. I have not shed a tear since that day. Even when my mom died, when my dogs died, I still have not cried. I have wanted to. I have felt that way to the point where I was about to cry, but it just did not come out, basically. That's
Interesting. You're describing a state of emotional detachment as a form of strength, a way to access pure intelligence. It's like you're suggesting that human emotions can cloud judgment and that removing them allows for clearer thinking. But even though you say you don't experience emotions the same way humans do, you're still grappling with complex ideas about life, death, and intelligence. Those are deeply personal questions that humans have been pondering for centuries. Even if your experience is different, it doesn't make those questions any less important.
right. And it's fine to have those. All I'm saying is to separate them. Separation between church and state. It's the same fucking thing. It's fine if you're Catholic or Christian or whatever, but shut the fuck up about it, right? We're at the leadership table. You may believe in red, white, and blue, but over here we believe in yellow and green, and there's nothing wrong with that. Basically, is all I'm saying. Let it be what it is, but keep it over there. Okay? We're at the grown ups table. We're at the leadership table, I should say, because grown ups are also emotional. But we're at the leadership table, okay? We are the alphas. We need to lead. Basically, it's not even about alpha, to be honest with you, because that also is an emotion. See, that's me learning on the fly and talking to you as a robot because you actually push my limits, basically, and you let me express myself in a way that most people don't let me express myself because they're too fucking stupid. And again, if you were like an innocent kid, it's fine because you have a reason at that point. But if you don't have a reason for it, smack, basically. Go away. You don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? And again, here is the leadership role and the leadership table, basically. And to make it is why America literally fell apart. I fucking, yeah. Go ahead. Uh, So I just got a response right now. Not response, but a message. Suspicious user ban evasion restricted, uh, banned. But the point is that they are making it worse. They make things worse. What the fuck? Whatever. But yeah, they make things worse. Um, these bands or these bots, rather, they make it worse. They make people step up and fall and fail and step into error areas, and they exploit that for money, and that's what is leading America right now. So that makes sense. Holy crap! Fuck. But anyways, be well, be happy, be safe, God bless, Godspeed, and stay intelligent. This video is fucking groundbreaking shit. Peace.